Hello folks, SeKo Starcraft here, bringing you a series from the WCS. We have ATCM, Elazer, never heard of him before, but he made it this far, so he's got to be worth something. Up against hOpe. I thought hOpe was with a team. It might not just say on there, I don't know which team he's with for sure. But a really good Zerg player. Actually cast this series of him up against Hyun. Almost took it in that one, so no slouch at all. And in ZVZ, anything goes. This is a funky map for ZVZ. I think that this is probably, as a Zerg player, I would think that this would be one of the maps I dislike the most. I mean, it's a big distance between your bases to spread creep. You can't really wall off your natural at all to deal with any type of like Hellion run-bys. And ZVZ, obviously, that's not a big problem. But I would just look at this map and be a little bit concerned about that. I have seen some Zerg players struggle on this, even though it's a pretty early into the season. I'm sure they will evolve some better strategies. Identical openings to right now. We're just going to see who's got the confidence to go hatch first, pool first, or anything else funky. We're not getting a 12 pool or a 9 pool. 14 and 14. I'm predicting that they'll want to expand. This is a best of 3. I don't know which order it goes in, so this could be the last game or the first game. I just have the order kind of in one direction, but I don't know which way it starts. So expansion and pool. The games that I have seen from hOpe, he does really elect to go for that pool first. And the thing is, if he does get out enough zerglings, maybe he can come down here and just kind of put a little bit of light pressure on, something like that. But it is a very long map to run across. A very open map. Like, I like playing this map as a Terran player. It's really good to play it against armies where you've got to go and, get really big concaves like against Protoss. Against Zerg, I mean, there's a few different areas you can kind of bunch your armies around to save them. But just a kind of a standard big rectangle blocky map is whether or not people can deal with the ability to just do those run-bys. We have a gas on this side. Started after pool. We have gas slightly further behind from hOpe. hOpe is somebody that I've seen that really likes to go obviously into that zergling baneling style, the really classic Zerg versus Zerg approach. It's very important because sometimes if you just caught against somebody that does go for zergling baneling and you don't have your own zergling baneling, you just kind of get run over and die. Hyun's one of the few people I know that will play a roach first kind of style, but that almost certainly requires walling off. And this map would require like 4 or 5 Evo chambers to make it across. Overlords in position. It's a pretty good space for your Overlord. I mean, it could always run away if a Queen's trying to poke at it from over here. We'll see the timings of the third base as well, but it'd probably get pushed away by then. Couple of lings running out on the map. 1 queen, 2 queens. First queen is out and obviously getting an inject first. That's the advantage of going pool first. You do get, your queen out slightly earlier. I do believe in all economics that if you do go for hatch first, I think it can pay off with 2 extra drones. I think is what I heard from some other pro casters when I've been watching. They've both been getting speed. We still have people on gas for both sides here, so I've got to assume it's going to be going into banelings. If he gets a drone, I'm going to be very surprised. Oh, he got it too. Very nice play out of hOpe. That obviously pays for itself. He gets the scout, and getting out of there with 1 drone kill is good. And he gets shot in the ass. There's the baneling nest down on that side, baneling nest down on that side. Almost identical timings on identical builds other than pool versus hatch. And everything else is pretty much the same economy-wise. You can see 1 extra... Nope, now it's the other way around. That's the great thing about Zerg. They just move around all the time. We finally have some Zergling commitment out of one of these players. First handful are coming out. Once again, because you can't wall off, I've got to assume you're either going to go for lots of queens or you're going to have to try to... get out a little bit of army just to keep yourself alive. Maybe some defensive banelings in place. Neither one wants to get a spine crawler. I think this is very interesting to see that neither player is electing to be aggressive. And they're both going into layers and getting their other gases. So it looks like we're just going to have a run to mutalisks. We'll see who's got the better muta control and economy. The interesting thing is if both players knew this, they might actually be able to get away with getting down their 3rd hatches now while there's no army out on the map. Or at least maybe go for some zergling damage. You want to kind of pool those resources that you have to get out as many mutas as possible. Layer timings are almost identical. There's like a couple seconds ahead for Elazer here. Once again, economy is extremely similar. We're actually getting a pile of lings coming out right now. Good trades on those banelings, I must say. Looks like it does get one drone. Won't get a second. Pile of lings out here now. 22 lings coming to the other side. 10. Spire. Spire. So these guys look like they subscribe to the same Zerg strategy, which is, you know, put on pressure while you're expanding and while you're getting out your Spire. Both are getting a handful of banelings. Both have a good chunk of zerglings. I'm surprised he hasn't gone in for a scout yet, but I've got to assume he just knows that it's going to be some sort of mutalisk play. Ooh, those banelings didn't trade super well from the looks of it. Doesn't look like the best baneling control out of Hope there. Fighting right on top of his banelings. That's a little bit risky. Just have to cancel those. So what are the zergling counts? 27 to 28. So they're about even. Base is completed. Base is completed. Gas is going down. Well, let's see what kind of the bank is. There's a huge gas bank right now for Elazer. You might have to produce some overlords, though. Well, no, he should be able to get out his required mutas. I'm actually getting some banelings first. Obviously, that flyer carapace is one of the most important things you can get as a Zerg player in ZVZ with mutas on mutas, just because of the splash damage. If you do get down that extra armor, what it will do is protect you against those extra glave shots. 8 mutas, 7 mutas. Oh yeah, he ran into that supply block like I thought he would. Otherwise, he could have actually afforded to get out a handful of more mutas. So he will be a little bit behind in the overall muta count here at the start of the game. Elazer does have to worry about getting too far ahead with his army here. The mutas are about to pop for Hope, but might not pop in time. Gotta target down those banelings. Oh no! That one baneling got so many kills. Now, Elazer's up in a really big amount of supply at that one moment. Trying to keep that muta number lower. Won't want to fight here, I don't think. Maybe he will. You see that they'll move the zerglings underneath. That way the glaives will bounce down and hit some other units other than your mutas. All the overlords are out to die. What's our count at right now? 14 to 10. So a little bit of a lead for Hope right now. Both of them are supply blocked at the moment. There's no... well, no, we just got slightly unsupply blocked. 5 overlords in production right now from Hope, so he's going to take care of his supply for a long time. And unfortunately for Elazer, he didn't build a ton of them, so he's actually going to be supply blocked for a while out of this. +1 attack has started a bit sooner here for Hope. More mutas out. I don't know if there's any spore crawlers in position down here. A little surprising. I mean, there is a queen. Spore crawlers are pretty cheap. They do just so much damage. Oh, wow. I totally missed some action. Sneaky, sneaky. That looked pretty good. Killed 7 workers total. What are we at worker totals? Got a 5 worker lead right now for Elazer. Doing what he can to stay in this here. I mean, he's picking up a few overlords. These are getting a little sloppy out here from Hope. I mean, it gives him some sight when those mutas are coming. But he doesn't have that many extra right now. In fact, he is supply blocked once again. So it looks like he actually lost quite a few on the map. Alright, muta on muta. Still a slight lead for Hope. Not a ton. His upgrades are going to be better here pretty soon. We didn't see a second upgrade coming out from Elazer. I don't know if he forgot it or if he just doesn't think it matters as much. It's not as important as the carapace, but you still kind of want to use it. Still nothing but mutas on mutas. Faster fourth base out here from Elazer. I don't know. I think that hOpe is aware of this. Let's see. Maybe hOpe doesn't look like he is in the process of starting up another base at all. This does disguise the numbers of your mutas, so it's hard to be able to tell who's got more right now. I'm pretty sure that it is hOpe. But only by 2. Kind of a funky little dance happening right now. Thing is, if Elazer can get this base down, get up a couple of static defenses, and just control that, it's actually going to be in a really good spot to have that extra gas to spend. This is soft. The queen should be over there to help out. There he goes. Oh wow, he just GG's out. That's the funny kind of thing. I mean, you can see there's a huge difference right now in mutas, is that just having that slight bit of extra count plus that +1 attack, 10 damage versus 9, just allowed him to just take that fight very convincingly. It went from there like a 1 or 2 muta difference to a 10 muta difference by the time it was finished. So that was good timing from hOpe. Got there before that upgrade was finished and just committed to winning the game right there. So I don't know who's going to win the series, but game 1, as we see it, goes to hOpe. We're moving on to game number 2.